Hey everyone, how are you guys doing today? So I am running on very little sleep. So while I was thinking initially like, oh, I'm just gonna try and do this quickly and just quickly go through all of the complaints Ruff is having and then either add them to the ignore and like add notes here and stuff, or and then right after that just move on and not do anything else. But honestly, I am going to just do this live, just take care of several things together. We'll make a video out of. I'm probably not going to go through all of the to-dos, but I'm going to go through a decent number of them. um yeah. Hopefully I'll be able to go through a decent number of them and showcase different things. Hopefully we'll be able to understand some things better. Just understand. Essentially, right now my goal is to like just go through these rough uh, errors because it's very opinionated formatter, and see how many of these we can fix and or like add them to the project to ignore and add notes as to why they are ignored and if they are to at some point in the future become non-ignored. um What you call it? So let's just start with D100 and fix it. Fix D100. So what is D100? So if you see this little yellow thing in the top, it says missing docstring in public module. And what's funny is essentially, if initially I thought it was a bug in Ruff, and I was actually gonna go ahead and submit it because when I did it like this, right? Okay. Just gonna go ahead and quick fix organize the imports. Right. I'm just gonna go ahead and do that really quickly. So now you see missing docstring in public module. I'm like, where is there a missing? Why would there be a missing docstring in JSON? And I even went and I'm like, wait, there's a docstring right at the fucking top. I don't know what the R stands for. What is an R string? Yeah, because I see this R. I know what F is. What is R? R strings Python. Also, I'm gonna just change the ordering of some things over here. Launch up Yak. I don't know if I'm gonna use it, but I'm just gonna keep it up and running. In the meantime, let's see what U and R. There's not really any raw string. There are string literals, which are exactly the string literals marked by an R. There's slightly different syntax for string. So it seems like if you put R before it, it's the literal string. And then U is for Unicode, which obviously doesn't matter anymore. And this is talking about Python too. Yeah, okay. So it is literally just the string literal. Okay, so that's what an R string is. I just went down a random rabbit hole. My point is, like, this was driving me nuts. I'm like, what's going on? Why is this happening? And then I realized I actually had to add it in my module, right? So that's what D100 is, the D100 ever, and it's a very, very simple to fix thing, actually. All you gotta do, I'm just gonna uncomment this, which you'll see will lead to another problem. One line docstring should fit in one line. Multi-line docstring summary should start at the first line. So, view problem. Oh wait, no, I don't want to view the problem, sorry. I want to quick fix it. Reformat to one line. Boom, done. And that removes that. So I can take away to do, fix, and speak about D100. Yippee! Alright, a bunch more to go. I have so many of these. Go through all rough problems raised and either add to TOML ignore or solve. To do, add notes regarding those ignored problems. So this is just one that we're going to be iterating on as we go, but we already have one here. If you can see, it's kind of hard to see under the giant highlighting by to-do tree, which I wonder if there's a way to turn that off. Collapse trace, span trace, huh? Reset cache. Toggle badges. I don't know what badges are. Alright, Shift P. I'm just gonna toggle that again to switch it back off, whatever it is. I hope .vs code is in my git ignore. It is not. IDE files. I'm just gonna put .vs code over there so that that also get ignored. So, anyways, there's a problem here with the to-do. There's multiple. So one is I don't put an author name for any of them, right? Which it's kind of important eventually when other people are working on this, but as of right now, it's not important. So I'm probably going to suppress that one. Missing issue link for this. I'm just going to actually look this one up because the author name is obvious, but issue link, do they mean like linking to your job board or whatever? Has an issue link. Oh. His common as it. Okay, so it's literally here makes it easier for resolvers to get context around the issue. So I'm guessing there's like extensions and stuff you can have built into your IDE where a specific to-do can be connected to a specific issue link, and you can, and it is genuinely very nice because then you can do things like in the commit you can say closes number 3 or whatever, and things like that, and it can auto close the issues. In something like Jira, I think GitLab also has something like this. Trello, there's many other extensions. So that's kind of why this is important. And sorry, I'm just drinking coffee and trying to wake up here. And so, but for now, we don't have that really. It's just me going on my own. Line contains to do, consider resolving the issue, fix 002, open. I'm just gonna read this one. I'm just gonna read all of them. derived from Flakate Fix Me linter, checks for to-do comments. Why is this bad? To-do comments are used to describe an issue that should be resolved, usually a missing feature, optimization, or refactoring opportunity. Consider resolving the issue before deploying the code. Note that if you use to-do comments as a form of documentation example to provide context for future work, this rule may not be appropriate for your project. So yeah, I agree with this. I think I, for now, we'll just leave it on because it's a small one, and as of today, I um, as of today, I am what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to try and work out as many of these to dos as possible. So if there's not many left at the end, I'm not going to add this to the ignore, but I might like later on just to get it out of the way because it's annoying. Um, we will see. You know, I do also use to do comments as a form of documentation. I really do. Um, but I use note and the other ones. Where are my tags? Once again, let me close that and that. And what is this? Oh, okay, it's just like all kinds of alignment options that I never noticed before. Oh, well, I'm not gonna add a to-do here. I'm just gonna delete this because I have zero need for Flakate now. Actually, I'm gonna okay, so I'm gonna go on a small side quest. Flakate config needs to be removed. Man git rm git rm dash help. Let's see exactly. Git rm, remove files from the working tree and from the index. Remove files matching path spec from the index or from the working tree and the index. Git rm will not remove a file from just your working directory. There is no option to remove a file only from the working directory and yet keep it in the index. Use bin rm if you want to do that. The files being removed have to be identical to the tip of the branch. Have to be identical, and no updates to their contents can be staged in the index, though that default behavior can be overridden with the -f option. When -- cached is given, the staged content has to match either the tip of the branch or the file on disk, allowing the file to be removed from just the index. When sparse checkouts are in use, Git rm will only remove paths within the sparse checkout patterns. I have no idea what sparse this is. So the file being removed has to be updated, has to be -f following has to, and no updates to their contents can be stated, and that default behavior can be overridden with the -f option. Override the up-to-date check. So I think I know what it's saying. So basically, to remove a file, right, from the repo, the files being removed have to be identical to this. So essentially, it needs to be up to date with the newest commit. So since the newest commit, there needs to be no changes on the file, or otherwise Git rm will not work, in which case you need to either force it if you just don't care about that file being up to date, you're just removing it, or you commit it, or maybe Another thing is you could stash the changes or something like that, come back to it later. But yeah, I'm just gonna use git rm because I think that automatically, let me just do git status. Yeah, see the modified things show up. Git rm dot flagate, and let's hit get status again. Yeah, we have changes. See, this gets changes to be committed, so the moment I hit get rm, it just already gets added. Otherwise I would have to, actually I don't know, maybe git restore dash dash staged file. Let me dot flag 8. Okay, get status. Oh, the file still remains deleted, but it's just when you do git rm, the thing gets staged for commit anyways. That's okay. I usually use the -a flag when I do my commits, so I don't actually have to stage my changes for commit, because when I do the -a, anything that's not staged for a commit but has been added to the repo and has been modified since the last thing. So if you do the -a flag, it just updates it all, which is fine for me because I'm not working with a very huge project, at least not at this point. Let's see how that goes. Anyways, so I deleted that. That's good because that was a completely unnecessary file at this point. I'm not going to add any different things. Let me see. Okay, so TD002, TD003 are both definitely going into the ignore. So that's, oh, sorry. And then, and the thing is going to complain as I am typing it out. Hopefully that should fix it. Yeah, TD003 and TD002 is gone. Fix 002. You know, I have so many to-dos and I do expect to actually take care of them, and I do also kind of want to use it as in-place documentation, so I'm just going to go ahead and ignore fix 002 as well because it's getting on my nerves to see it. Fix 002, there you go. And boom, we don't have any more issues on the to-dos, which is nice. And that clears up a decent batch. Okay, here. JSON formatter missing docstring in public class. Log formatter. I'm just gonna go JSON formatter for logs. Just make it an easy docstring. One blank line required after class docstring. First line should end with a period. Okay. Oh man, that solved it. It's a very simple docstring. I'm honestly like, is it something I really care about sticking with right now or no? I actually don't. So I am just gonna ignore the initial warning because I think at this point, while documentation is extremely important in my opinion, just arbitrarily adding a shit like one-liner docstring just for the sake of shutting up a thing, shutting up a RUFF thing doesn't make sense. And I don't want to disable it for this line because this is going to be a common problem all over the place. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add, I think it's D101, so I'm just gonna add it with the others at the start. So .com space D101. That should fix that issue. That should, yep, okay, so that's not complaining anymore, which is nice. What else? I'm just right now, I'm just gonna go through all of the issues. I'm just gonna move this somewhere like over here maybe, or actually over here. I think it's the least in the way over there. I'm just gonna close this error log. Set level conflict has a problem missing return type annotation. You know what, that I actually care about. So boom, boom, none. And especially that's the easy one. And this doesn't even break the thing. Variable ID is shadowing a Python built-in. Ooh, I'm shadowing a Python built-in. Okay, that I actually do not like. I don't even know what Python built-in is ID. I'm just gonna call it, I'm gonna rename F2 key underscore ID. Okay, that's an important one, I think. Use specific rule codes when ignoring type issues. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove that then, which is gonna cause another type issue. Argument of type string or none cannot be assigned a parameter, blah, blah, blah. You quick fix. Use specific rule codes when ignoring type issues. Few problem. Okay, I get it, and I kind of agree, but what's the quick fix? Disable for this line. Do I, if I remove this, would that help? Okay, no, it does not. The issue is just that it's just, I don't care enough about this code, because one of the to-dos I want to get to is like, I'll actually do the environment variable stuff. Like this stuff over here that I described. I think like out of all of the different ones that we can do after RUFF, is essentially going to be spent on everything but the logging filter. Like I don't want to do logging filter right now at all, because I feel like it's going to be, it's just going to take, it's not going to take a lot of time, it's going to take some time, and it's for just something so trivial. So I'm just going to leave that as a to-do. Am I though? I don't know. Let me think about that, because basically everything that I ignore, my goal is to like properly document it here with things to do with reasons of like why have I done this and all of that, and essentially just have that documented here directly in the PyProject toml so that it's easily visible for other people. Also, I need to find a way to like easily enable and disable oh wait, no, that's not what I meant to do. I don't want to hide it. Show badge. I don't know what badge means, but move to secondary sidebar or panel. Because the thing is, I really like this to do thing, but it's also like super obnoxiously like right there in your face, and it like captures your eyeballs super strictly. I wonder if I can just change the colors. Let me. Okay, we're gonna get sidetracked again for a moment. I don't even remember. We were checking RUFF. So before that, let me open up this extension's settings. You know what? Let me open settings JSON. See, foreground and background are two separate colors as well as icon color. Well, I wrote this as yellow and just commented this out. How would that work? Oh, no, that's just not. Whoa, that's bad. Okay. So that's not really an option. Okay. What if I switch to black? That work? Oh, that's actually much nicer because it still pops out at you, but it's much easier to ignore. Let me see if I have any other colors to find. Files, autosave, icon type, foreground, background, opacity. Set the opacity to 100 actually. Just make it completely. Oh wait, I meant 0. Because the more. It doesn't seem to be making much of a difference. So the foreground is black, aka the actual thing. While I love how this looks, I'm very strongly contemplating just removing it and going back to the defaults. Okay. I think I don't think I'm gonna overthink this right now, but I think later on, if it really becomes super distracting to actually work around this, I'm gonna remove it. But I think it's kind of also good because it actually forces me to think about each one and be like, instead of just adding to-dos everywhere and never fixing them, because that would be catastrophe. Well, I mean, it wouldn't literally be a catastrophe, but it's not very nice. So yeah, okay. Back to doing rough stuff. is, oh, there's an issue with open over here. Is there a quick fix that I can use? No, I do not want to disable for this line. So I'm gonna, from path lib import path. Quick fix. I'm just gonna go ahead and organize that. So I imported path from pathlib. Remember, this is the one we already logged in our not logging config in our pipe project. PTH123 use path instead of open directly can have performance state of might add to ignore and use strings directly for performance gain. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is essentially the recommendation says use the pathlib library, create a path object from the string, and then open that object as a file, right? Because it's more readable in terms of someone else like actually looking at it. And especially with older versions of Python, there was a performance trade-off. So it's something I needed to be documented somewhere. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go back to my main.py. Oh yeah, there you go. That's what I wanted to fix. Path dot logging config dot YAML. I can't type YAML dot open in read mode. I don't know what R plus means. Encoding UTF. Okay, so it doesn't have a default encoding. Let me actually see. Open file. Open. Yeah, I'm just gonna presume it doesn't have the default encoding to be UTF-8, like is proposed in the PEP for Python 3.15. As f colon hash. Okay, I'm just gonna use the formatter and fix the single quote double quote thing later. But other than that, this is a drop-in replacement, so I'm just gonna go ahead and remove that. PGH3 type ignore annotations that suppress all type warnings. So as opposed to targeting specific type warnings, why is this bad? Type ignore attr defined. MyPy supports built-in string first. Oh, so I could just add this and it will. Okay, I'm gonna get back to this one because I'm just saying no QA is just like, hey, just stop looking at this one, right? On telling RUFF instead of actually remove. Okay, well, yeah, I'll remove the trailing white space. What else is there? I'm just gonna command a comma. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I'm doing command comma. Why is that not working? Is it command something else? Oh, it is command period. Disable for this line. So no QA PGH003 is okay. So I want to see what this is. Quick fix. Okay. Use specific rule. I'm going to leave this as is and get back to PG8003. Honestly, this is just saying found commented out code, ERA0001, which is essentially commented code is just dead code. It should be removed. And frankly speaking, that is the case here. I just like, oh, it'll be easier to swap back to it whenever I do get back there and like fix the level weirdness. I'm not exactly super excited for looking super excited about doing that, but whatever. Lifespan for public function lifespan. Well, the return type is none for now. Oh boy. Well, let me see why is app. App is not use function argument app. Oh, I accidentally invoke type is here. Let me look this up. I think it was lifespan events, FastAPI. I have to actually import async generator from typing, so I'll just do that. Async generator. Async generator. Okay, that should fix it. Quick fix. No QA arg001. That's like a particularly annoying one. Example variable intentionally defined but not used, it should be prefixed with an underscore or some other value that adheres to the lint dummy variable regex pattern. It should be prefixed with an underscore or some other value that adheres to the lint dummy variable regex pattern. Okay, so it's not really a dummy variable, but I'll fix this problem. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Single underscore prefix Python. Okay. That's what I remember single underscore prefix being. Basically, it's a convention because there's no strong way to deny this in Python. So it's become a Python users convention that if you have a single underscore before a variable name, that it's not meant to be used directly by the outside world. Like, remember I even showed you os._exit. That's an example of that. And I guess we could kind of see it like that. I mean, that would be true of everything. The point is, it gets the monkey off my back, so I'm okay with that. And it kind of helps me as well denote that this is a variable that is defined, that I'm not using. This is just how I need to define this for the sake of this context manager working when I pass this function to FastAPI, which I do right there. So bing bang. Let's see what else is here. This first line of docstring should be in imperative mode. This end. Yeah, so apparently, like, you can't start checks for docstring first lines that are not in an imperative mood. Recommends that first line be written in the imperative mood for consistency. Hint: to write the docstring in the imperative, phrase the first line as if it were a command. This rule may not apply to all projects. Its applicability is a matter of convention. By default, this rule is enabled when using the NumPy and PEP257 conventions, and disabled when using the Google conventions. So, well, I mean, who am I to deny Google? But whatever. So basically, to refresh, it would be something like this, and boom, that fixes it. But honestly, I'm just gonna remove the whole shebang, because like I said, I don't want bullshit doc strings in my code just to satisfy the thing, which is why I ignored it. Abstract raised to an inner function. What is this? GRY003 and 002. I'm curious. Open. Why is this bad? Checks for code that raises exception or base exception directly. Handling such exceptions require the use of accept exception or accept base exception. These will capture almost any raised exception, including failed assertions, division by zero, and more, blah, blah, blah. Prefer to raise your own exception. Yeah, this is totally fair, right? It's totally much better to raise your own exception and be specific. Don't try to just catch all everything, because if you try to catch all everything, it can lead to unexpected behavior if something is breaking that you don't expect to be breaking, and it's just causing a weird bug. And normally you would just have an error and be like, oh, okay, that's what the issue is. But because you have a catch that is broadly catching any exception within its stack trace, that can be an issue. But here we're actually gonna, for a change, use the quick fix. And wait, what is the other problem? Create your own exception. So wait, which one is 003? No, the other one is 301. Okay, so 301 is raised within tri, uh, derived from Triceratops linter. Jesus Christ, they have so many fucking rules. God damn it. Rough. You're killing me. Checks for raise statements within try blocks. The only raises caught are those that throw exceptions caught by the try statement itself. Checks for raise statements within try blocks. The only raises caught are those that throw exceptions caught by the try statement itself. The same try block is redundant as the code can be refactored to alternatively the raise can be moved within an inner function, making the execution reusable across multiple call sites. So def bar pass a equals bar if not a raise value error, otherwise def bar raise value error. Try it. Why is this bad? I'm not understanding why this is bad. Exactly. Raising and catching exceptions within the same try block is redundant. Fair, as the code can be refactored to avoid the try block entirely. Alternatively, the raise can be moved within an inner function, making the exception reusable across multiple sites. So the second thing is what they've given me the example for, but I don't know. Either way, this, I mean, I kind of agree with them, because if you're trying something in a block, you don't want to raise an exception in that block. You're trying something that you expect might be raising a specific exception, and you want to handle that specific exception because either it's okay for you for some reason, or even if it's not okay for you to log it appropriately, or whatever your reasoning is, really. So for this one, I am going to just ignore it, because honestly, just for this line, because these are important things that BLE001, what is this? Do not catch blind exception. Yeah, okay, we already spoke about this problem. Quick fix, I'm just going to disable it for these lines, even though it's not very elegant or nice, because this is essentially being used. In fact, you know what? I will add a doc string here. Endpoint to be used for logger testing only, period. Yeah, I think that's almost everything. At least everything that RUFF is spitting out. There's probably a few others that I am not catching here. Yeah, there's type ignore, which I want to look into a bit more. Boom and kaboom, what is the problem here? Assign to variable first. Quick fix. Assign to variable, remove string literal. Okay, wait. What is this? Missing return type annotation for public function. Boom. That's easy. That's none. And I should have that. I think that's a good thing. This one, I want to understand why this one is bad. EM101. Open. Raw string in exception. What it does, checks for the use of string literals and exception constructors. In preview, this rule checks for byte string literals and exception constructors. Why is this bad? Python includes the raise in the default traceback, and formatters like Rich and IPython do too. By using a string literal, the error message will be duplicated in the traceback, which can make the traceback less readable. Example, raise runtime error, some value is incorrect. Some value is incorrect, some value is incorrect. And so you get it. Oh, okay, so this is actually something that is valuable. This is why I like RUFF, man. I may not agree with all of it, and that's why I'm like fine-tuning it. It's like weird. It's like even more opinionated than Black. because it's not just doing black, it's doing like black plus like millions of other types of linting that are coming from different places. Um, yeah, I think it's pretty good. It was pretty good. So anyways, this makes sense. I'm just gonna actually go through with this one. Assign a variable, boom. This like took 2 seconds. So there's quite a few more things to, oh, what's going on over here? Why is this? Okay, I am, what did I make? Oh, VS Code files. Oh yeah, I need to add this file to, you know what? I'm just gonna make a commit message with everything relevant. I'm just gonna move this over here. Or actually, I'm gonna move it a little bit down. Git commit -m. Let's see. Changes implemented or ignored. Changes suggested by RUFF, implemented or explicitly ignored. -m, removed flakate. Yeah, we did that, don't forget about that. There's still probably a bunch other stuff. PyProject Toml, what did I change in PyProject Toml? I already stated that I changed it, so that's okay. pg.py. This I believe is already in the git ignore. It is. To do add this file to ignored by RUFF. Okay, I'm gonna actually do that. I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. Oh yeah, I should add, say, added .vs code to git ignore. Oh, git ignore, git ignore, git commit -m-m-a. That should be done. Let me just check the status. I'm gonna check the log. And we're good. So that's the end of the episode. Honestly, the next few videos for you guys is going to be similar to this one, which is going to be not that great. I'm sorry. I'm just exhausted. And I mean, I mentioned this in the past, but I've been doing like, more than one video a day. Even though I'm releasing them only one day at a time. I'm not super farther ahead than where the videos are on YouTube right now, like maybe few days worth of videos ahead. It's just something, like I said, that just seems to make more sense to record this multiple times a day, because it helps me as well, stay consistent and actually record the information into my brain that I receive from all of this. In fact, I'm quite unhappy about all the things I'm ignoring and stuff like that, because I don't think I'm going to remember these codes very completely. Yeah, and I think a lot of things, I think I might move things into README. I might actually, because I do already have a README markdown, so I might as well move a lot of things into the README rather than have it in the code. I think that's a good idea. Like to-do is nice for like quick in place, like while I'm working, I'm just going to to-do this, and then at some point clean it up and add it all to README. I think that would be better. Unless you start using to-dos with like issues and stuff like that, then it's nice to have it in place. So anyways, this is the end of this video. I'm gonna move on to the next one, which I'll start up in another moment, but you will see 24 hours from now. See ya.